Hello, I'm Alex Vicari with Bloodline Sports. Thank you for watching today. I'm here with a couple of partners from Bloodline. We got Nick Siaka. How you doing, Nick?
Good, Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Good. We got TJ Wilcox, another partner out in Arizona. TJ, how are you?
Good. Hi, guys.
So we're going to talk a little bit today about what we do to help get athletes to the next level through Bloodline Sports, through guidance, promotion, and development. We're going to let TJ start off, tell you a little bit about, again, what we do. And hopefully by the end here, you'll have a good idea of how we can help you. All right, TJ, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. So the three of us were privileged enough to play college baseball after high school, and it's a great experience to play the game we love and get an education at the same time. Very cool experience at that age, between 18 and 22, 23. And now I've been coaching for the last close decade with some minor league or some club ball programs and some collegiate programs. And my son just finished his freshman year in college. And about 2-3 years ago, I signed him up with a collegiate recruiting company. And it was quite a bit of money, but, they promised the world, and I'm not going to mention names, but they promised a guidance, a coach is what they called him. And he was going to call every Monday to talk to my son about, how his progress was coming, how his grades were. Wanted us to put videos together, which we did. And they basically sent a list of about 150 schools throughout the country and had us reach out to them on our own. The Monday phone calls stopped. My son had emailed his coach and sent text messages to his coach with no response. And we basically gave up on them, even though we had paid the money. And he got a scholarship to a local junior college here in Arizona, and they took credit for it. And I thought, man, based on that experience, not to mention our networking group that we've developed over the last 3 years pretty heavily in the, big boy baseball scene, I decided that we should start our own recruiting organization, and we want to do it differently. We want to do interviews. We handpick our players that we want to be part of our system and our network. And we want to reach out to the coaches based on their needs, based on the athletes, I guess, desires of what they want to study, where they might want to go within the United States to play baseball and get an education. First off, it starts with an intro interview, because we are handpicking our athletes, and we're not going to take everybody. It's not that we're trying to get everybody to pay us for our services. And Alex, pretty much as an educator and a coach for 25 years, runs those intro interviews, and I'll pass that on to Alex about what those interviews entail.
All right, yeah, thanks. So when we receive a profile form, we kind of go over it as a group. We talk about it. We do a little research on the student athlete, and then we do an introductory phone call, and we just kind of get to know the athlete. We talk to them about their preferences, because we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste their time. We don't want to waste a recruiter's or a coach's time if we're talking to a school out in Florida or on the East Coast, and we get back to them and say these guys are interested, and they say, oh, well, I don't want to go across the country or whatever it is. I don't want to go to cold weather, or I want to study, this or that, and they don't have the program. So that's basically the purpose of the introductory interview. Is we get a feel for the student athlete. We ask them some questions that will kind of narrow down, the schools or the area. religious school, non-religious, what kind of, educational emphasis they want to focus on. So we get a feel for them. And, to be honest, it's also get to know them. We've talked to a lot of kids that are yes, sir, no, sir, thank you. And that goes a long way because like the schools themselves, we want to represent respectful student athletes that are not only great on the field or court or pool or whatever it is, but we want them to perform in the classroom because like TJ said, as a coach, I know what it's like to chase around a kid that struggles in the classroom. And sometimes they're struggling for a good reason and sometimes it's a bad reason, but you're willing to offer support up to a certain point. And college coaches are very busy and the last thing they need to do is worry about kids that are struggling and not doing the work in the classroom. So I think those introductory interviews give us a good idea on who the kid is. And also another thing that gives us some insight to that and also helps the coaches and the recruiters are the interviews. So TJ, we kind of segue into that if you want to talk about the interview process a little bit.
The individual interview with the athlete?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me start by saying that, I coach two different teams. One's a high school program, very renowned throughout the country, and the team that I coach are incoming seniors this year. They'll be seniors in high school. And we have about 6 other kids that want to join our team, and they're all committed. Most of them are D1 commits, and we basically turn them down because the nucleus and the roster that we have developed aren't committed. And, could we bring those kids in and win more games? Absolutely we could, right? But our focus is getting those other kids that aren't committed, getting them somewhere to play. So
eyeballs.
Winning's a byproduct of hard work and camaraderie and having a good dugout and coaching kids the right way to play baseball. But we're more concerned about getting those kids to the next level and creating a little bit of a pipeline. We really want to focus on about 25 to 30 schools throughout the country. We have a good network of Division I, Division II, NAIA, and JUCO programs, just states that we have contacts in are, Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, Illinois, Iowa, Louisiana, Alabama, Oregon, and Washington. So that's, the Northwest, even with their weather, but you got, obviously Oregon State's been a powerhouse for over a decade. And, but, thinking of California, Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, those are hotbeds, Alabama for baseball. And we have a very good network, like I said, with all those divisions. And we built that on, hey, this kid can play, have them out to your school, give them a workout, let them see the campus. And they know that through the years that with that network we built that we're not going to send them a kid that can't excel on their campus. Doesn't mean they're going to start at shortstop and hit in the third hole. No, but can they help the program? Can they get a great education? Can they have a great experience as a young adult? That's what we're looking to do. Save a little money for the parents in the long run, of course. But then going back to the player interview, the 3 of us run this interview and we have certain questions of what they want to study. For example, we had a kid that's a D1 kid and we found out that he wanted to be a chef. That was his backup plan. And we have some ties with UNLV. He's got one of the best culinary schools in the country. And we got him hooked up there. Certain kids want to be engineers. Certain kids, want to study law. We want to get them in the right circumstance and where they're going to be comfortable and give them a chance to succeed. So the interview is a lot of questions of course, your grades. We don't talk a lot about skill set and their baseball statistics. I mean, to me, that doesn't mean much because You can go 3 for 3 and you can go 0 for 3 the next day, but it's more about getting the kid in a good environment. And so the interview goes a long way. Those interviews go on our YouTube channel. They go on our website. We can easily just send a link to the coaches that we know. I can call, Yavapai Community College, a couple hours north of here, been in the national championship several years in the last decade, and say, hey, I want you to look at this kid, look at the interview, see what kind of poise he has, how he answers questions. And, these guys already know what kind of player that they're bringing on. So they're really more focused on what kind of citizen and character that they're going to bring on their campus. So that's the main part of the interview. We then we do player spotlights. So we're going to do a little bit later in another video tonight where we profile 2 to 3 kids, athletes, and just talk about their character and their work ethic. And so that's provided in our services as well. We can do combine videos that can show some measurables. We show them hitting batting practice live on a field, taking ground balls, making throws from the outfield, catchers throwing to second base, doing some 60 times, and we can get that all on the profile page as well. Our network of coaches go right to our website. They click on the profile page. They can look at videos. They reach out to us and say, is this guy a good fit? What do you think? Can he play here? Can he play at this level? And, we're going to be honest because we're not going to tell a coach that this kid can play there if we don't think he can. And at this day and age with the portal and COVID, it's a logjam. And my son right now he's got a tough sled ahead of him. And a lot of these kids that age and kids coming that just graduated, and it's tough. And, we never want our kids to settle on going to a school that isn't their dream school. But the reality is, you're going up, you got 18-year-old freshmen showing up on campus and they're playing with 24, 25, 26-year-old kids because of what COVID did and the logjam and the portal. And I think that's why you're seeing so many home runs hit in the college playoffs, because a lot of these kids are men. They're 24 and 25 years old. And then just stressing the contact, the network that we have. We can be somewhere in the 85 to 95% rate of getting kids somewhere on campus with somewhat of a scholarship for a reasonable investment with Bloodline Sports. If you're interested, what we do is an interview with the athlete and the parents. We can discuss rates. We have different options, and going from there, it's just going to be really hands-on. We're going to call the students, the student athletes on a regular basis, asking how they're doing. How was your perfect game tournament last weekend? Heard you went to USA's this last weekend. You went to Cobb County, Georgia last weekend. How'd you do?
Hey, TJ, sorry to interrupt real quick. I think one of the most fun things we do, aside from actually getting to talk to the athletes, is our social media. So I don't want to forget about that. Nick, could you mention the kind of things we post on social media and what the platforms are real quick?
Oh yeah, of course. So, beyond as Alex and TJ were mentioning, we have the 3 pillars, which is promotion, development. And one of the fun things is what we do is that we really focus in on the social media aspect. And we have 4 social media platforms, which is Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And so once the athlete is signed up, we continue to promote on our social media platforms, be it videos, pictures, updates on, how they did over the weekend in a certain tournament, if they went out to a workout, training session, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the best parts of my day is seeing something pop up and a kid received like an academic award or made an all-conference team. It's awesome. I love that part of it. I love just, getting those alerts and seeing those kids on there. I think Nick does a great job with the social media, and it's kind of a fun thing. As we know, it's what the kids are into. So it's kind of fun to see that grow, and I think the kids get a kick out of it too. Go ahead.
Right. And it's more eyeballs
Yeah, exactly.
for these athletes.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we tag the right people, and we go from there. So, and it's a daily post on different athletes, like I said, on our 4 different platforms.
Yeah, and as we are a business, but with a heartfelt, genuine, emphasis on getting kids to the next level. There's, again, not naming names, there's so many recruiting agencies out there. A lot of them just post a profile page of what high school they're at and, maybe their height and weight, and that's it. And it seems to me, based on my own experiences, the athlete and the parents have to do a lot of work. And I think that when we get a chance to verbally talk to these coaches, because we become in this network, this fraternity, where they have no problem calling me, they call me back, or I'll call them back. And it goes a longer way because they know that I'm not going to steer them wrong. I think that helps the recruiting process, because these coaches have so much to deal with that, to me, it's just a little bit more like the icing on the cake. If for example, if a major league manager were to tell a recruiting guy that, hey, one of my coach's sons is a stud in high school, I want you to go look at him. I mean, that goes a long way, other than, a lot of the parents are reaching out to these colleges and coaches, and the way that our format is, I think it's just got more impact to help these kids get to the next level.
And part of the promoting on the social media platforms is that we get responses from these coaches and these programs asking us about these athletes, because they might not know who these athletes are. So, it's a good network.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a tough sled right now, but the cream always rises to the top, and sometimes you got late bloomers, which is great. Just the bottom line is we want to give these kids a chance, get them in a uniform, get them in between the lines where they're getting looked, they're getting at bats, they're getting reps, they're getting innings on the mound. And, a lot of times you just can't get that. Even these kids that are going D1, they're sitting there for 2 years. A lot of them are going back to JUCO,
right?
Because they're just not getting any playing time. So, I think that the main emphasis we would tell our parents is, like, there's a ton of good colleges out there, and a great opportunity to go become a young adult and have a great experience playing baseball and getting an education. So we hope we have that avenue, and I think we do have that avenue, and we just want to help these kids and keep continuing the process for the next 10 years, and build our brand and help these kids move on and really have a great experience. I mean, the 3 of us can testify that it was just a very big, major part of our lives to be able to do what we did, and we want to offer that opportunity to our athletes. So,
well, we wouldn't be here doing this if it weren't for baseball. We would have never met each other. So,
right.
All right, awesome. You guys got anything else?
No, we're good.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We know there's a lot of stuff out there. We appreciate you taking the time to hearing what we do. Go ahead and visit us on bloodlinesports.co. Check out some athletes or some other good stuff on there. Nick can take us out with our social media handles, and then hopefully we'll see you soon.
So you can follow us on Instagram at Bloodline Sports AZ, on Twitter at Bloodline Sports, on TikTok at Bloodline Sports, and on YouTube at BSN, Bloodline Sports Network.
Yeah, and just to follow up on our website, the 3 of us have bios on there that you can contact us. So if you're interested in our services, it clicks to our email. You can email all 3 of us. We'll reach back out to you. We'll set an introductory interview with you and the athletes and the parents, and we'll provide the pricing for our services, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks, TJ.
All right.